Alright, welcome back everyone. I am Evil Tim, and this is a bit of a warm-up video, which I'm probably going to post eventually anyway. This is Body Count, you see. I apologise for the delay. I was having a bit of a lie-in. That's a form of protest where you refuse to tell the truth, you see. It's also a type of big cat, but that has nothing to do with anything. It's just a product of my ego, as this game would have it. So what is with this game, then? Well, this, I believe, is the game which holds the record for destroying its creators. If I recall correctly, the Guildford studio of Codemasters was actually shut down 2 weeks before this game came out, so it's a bloody good job that it worked, really, even if it does work in an exceptionally mediocre manner. This game was billed as being the spiritual successor to Black, but Black is one of my favourite games, and this is not Black. And I believe several of the people involved in the production agreed. The executive producer quit partway through the production, and following him, and being a lot less quiet about it, was Stuart Black, the creator of Black. I believe he was the lead designer on that. His statement as to why was that Codemasters were not funding or supporting the game correctly or advertising it in a manner he was accustomed to. You can't really change the control setup, and it doesn't tell you what any of the controls do, and some people will tell you to turn up the aim sensitivity, but they're completely wrong about that. I believe you might notice that somewhere in here it says that I've played the campaign of this game for like 16 hours. I really couldn't tell you why. It's just oddly fascinating for some reason. So we're going to start off, and then we're going to start up again for no good reason. The other reason that the Guildford studio was shut down was due to the failure of Operation Flashpoint Red River, an absolutely disastrous game, even if you like it, because it sold, I believe, about half as many copies as Blackside Area 51, the game that shut down midway. Anyway, so what the hell are we doing in this? Well, we have to contact our establishment with the Network. The Network is a social justice organization which is dedicated to ridding the world of offensive stereotypes by killing all of them. None. What are we going to do about environmental catastrophe? What, are we going to shoot rain?
And then let the world down.
333 and a half. Okay, so we've subjected that place, which...
Believe in words. We believe in action.
That's wonderful.
The world needs solutions. We believe that
I've got potassium hydroxide. Okay, so I'm a solution apparently. I guess I melted or something, but okay, so we've got giant cannons over there in a minute, which, yeah, those kind of disappear after that. Meanwhile, there is a man there wearing some kind of hat and a towel, so that is good. Meanwhile, approaching is... oh, well that's nice, I suppose. It's got its pod there. Oh no, somebody's about to fire some proximity at us. Meanwhile, this is... oh my god, it's general proximity. And there's a surface-to-air missile threat. What will we do about that? Well, he's going to fire that, and that is actually going to turn out to be a Hellfire, which isn't a surface-to-air missile. I guess that's just to confuse us. And, you know, you could probably have done at least something with all those buttons. Oh, no, Hull's going to fail us too. That's not the Hull. Okay, so this is obviously the most competent organisation you'll ever see in your life. For some reason we're wearing these weird-ass gloves that make us look like the guy from Kick-Ass, but I don't know what that's all about. Neither do you. Now, a good sign of a game that was rapidly rewritten during development is when pre-rendered cutscenes don't actually match the action in the game itself. As she mentions there that we're supposed to recover missing network equipment, but you never actually do that during the game. In fact, the manual actually mentions that too. It says here, network technology is constantly improving, acquiring new equipment in the field to upgrade your OSB, but that's not actually how you upgrade it in the end. So, Peace Folks fell apart 36 hours ago. They killed 2.8 million people in 36 hours. This is at least very fast genocide. I don't sure. Yes, I am.
Through and... oh, you're alive.
Instead, we don't have a name. We're called the Operative.
Okay, UAV is coming on station. It wouldn't stand too close to
the last one
right
did
now.
so well,
There's
after
about to
all.
be a fireworks display.
Okay, so why couldn't they have done that before? Oh, these guys just died by themselves. I guess that was just sympathetic
here's
death.
the situation.
Now, if that looks
These
interesting,
talks
that's
between
actually
the
3
militia and
airstrikes laid end
government
on
fell
end.
apart about 36 hours ago. Tasanga City has turned into a war zone.
It looks like it already was a war
This
zone.
area is swarming with arcadey militia. Our first
It's one of those
priority is to
arcadey
reclaim
games.
your network support point.
Haha, I
Don't
had the
let
power of
anyone get in your
parentheses. Shred is now an aside, but now through is an aside. I can control the context of this sentence and therefore everything about it. Okay, so this is the Benelli M4 Super 90. It's absolutely fucking useless, and this is probably the only thing we're going to do with it in the entire game. If you actually saw the stats at the start of the game, I've got 9 kills with this in total. So you can probably tell that's not going to service us particularly well. So let's get the MP7 out there. Now, for probably the last time you're ever going to hear this, that sound there indicates that the magazine is running down. We'll go into the problems of that later. It's got a 55 round magazine, even though it's actually got a 20 round magazine, so that's not particularly scientific, my boy. We can use iron sights to zoom in. Let's shoot this barrel, because that will be a barrel of laughs. Okay, so we can collect intel for use with the OSB, except we can't because we don't have any OSB abilities. OSB, which I don't think they ever tell us in the game, stands for Operative Support Button. It's the thing to the left, but we can't do anything with it. You also notice there we've got a kill chain. There are skill kills in this game. It's like body count if it were really, really crap, you see. Because the thing is, the multiplier there never actually goes down by itself. I'll explain that a bit more later, but basically, the way that you lose your multiplier chain there is to get any kill but a skill kill, which is really stupid and doesn't fit the pacing of the game at all. Speaking of things that don't fit the pacing of the game at all, the iron sight mode in this game, if you hold the iron sight button all the way down, you enter this sort of peek and lean mode, which is completely useless in a game that's supposed to be all about fast-paced action, but then again this game is very confused about what it actually is. Just load that back up again, and I'm not sure what that airstrike was in aid of, but whatever. Let's go over here and learn about how to grenades at people. So let's observe the battlefield. Oh, we'll just hoover up whatever that is. There is its grenade target, so let's throw nothing at him. You, sir, eat nothing. And that somehow worked, I suppose. Maybe he had a grenade of his own, like. So another thing you can do here is double tap the button and that'll allow you to throw impact grenades. Now impact grenades are really stupid in this game because while you throw standard grenades out of the center of the screen, you throw impact grenades from the bottom right, which means that you can't throw them over handrails without blowing yourself up. Luckily you've got a ton of health in this game, unluckily the health appears to be randomized. So anyway, the intel stuff down here was actually originally part of an upgrade system. How do you know that, you say, Evil Tim? How? Well, I can tell you exactly why. It'll come up in a minute. Here we go, I'll just load this back up again and you will see they actually left the interface for the upgrade system in the game. It's here, you get to do it by pressing select. The game never tells you that you can even do this. That allows you to pull up a tactical map, which you never need because you've got the Medal of Honor Idiot arrow. It allows you to pull up the firearms menu in a minute, which you also never need because you'll get this from the places where you can select weapons and you can't do anything with your weapons here. You also have these very useful descriptions to weapons like there. Long range, high power shotgun, the closer the blah 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 blah. It actually has 3 repetitions of the radical idea that it's a short range shotgun in a video game. But anyway, so you have the upgrade system here. You've got the TPW pulse there, which is the most useless upgrade in the game. These are the OSB abilities, but we can't upgrade them here, and we can't use any of them yet because they haven't given us one yet. Adrenaline is basically the only one that's worthwhile in any way. Meanwhile, check out our invisible UAV. That's fucking marvelous. I forgot to do this at the start of the level, you see. That's great. And this is you're going to see me get like
between the militia and government fell apart about 36 hours ago.
yeah, whatever.
It's
one of those things, you see. You're going to see me actually get some kills with the shotgun, which is not something I normally do. This is just for the LP, you see. So let's shoot our way through all of this. Okay, so this is the shredding system, which was a gimmick for this game. Some people might try to tell you that it was impressive at the time, but that is absolute shit, and you should smack them for it because this game came out after Red Faction Guerrilla and about the same time that the demos of Battlefield 3's Frostbite engine were showing up. In other words, this wasn't impressive even at the time. So this is the thing that you can do with the shotgun. Shotgun is basically the only weapon you can do this with, is last round. That counts as a skill kill, and basically it's impossible with any other weapon because there's no numeric display of your remaining rounds. So you put 1 round in there. I said you put 1 round in there, you fucking idiot. So we're going to have to fire off a round at nothing in order to avenge that fact. And then you just run up to someone, shoot them, rinse and repeat it. Also, behold the deadly blast radius. No. Okay then. I think there's a rampant AC-130 in this area, an invisible one too. He is forgotten of consequences. You, sir, it's your AC-130, isn't it? You put it in your back pocket and thought that I would be unaware of your trickery. But you were wrong, sir. One of the problems with this game is there's so much exploding shit around the levels that eventually, unless you are outright omniscient in your situational awareness, you will start taking cheap damage from just stuff exploding all around you at random. Okay, so yeah, so they introduced the OSB abilities by just having you collect a bunch of intel and then not letting you do anything with it. I guess they have to stagger these things, otherwise they would stagger us instead, you see. No, they haven't.
And there's a chance they could use it to trace the support point. Eliminate this comms dish.
Okay, so this game is like just outright schizophrenic in how it works. The weapons are basically designed, they're like all very low accuracy weapons with huge magazines, so it seems to think that you're going to be playing it as a run and gun shooter, but you're actually mechanically punished for doing that because the larger your skill chain multiplier, the better the intel pickups you get, and when we actually have anything that we can do with intel, that's going to matter because that affects our ability to become invincible and such. So what you really have to do, because there's no like rampage multiplier that you can get for like killing a bunch of people rapidly, all you can really do is go for the only reliable skill kills, which are explosives and headshots. So you end up just kind of creeping along trying to use these inaccurate ass weapons to get loads of headshots. And that's how you get high scores in this game, because it is a scoring game after all. There are quite a few ways in which it plays like an old-school shooter, but not any good ones, unfortunately. Okay, so we can vote for Akimbo there, except that we cannot vote for Akimbo because we cannot hold two weapons. Or we could vote for General Black Axe Cop. I don't know what he's all about, but we'll be meeting him later, and it probably won't matter. So let's slurge our way over here and see what's going on. I also don't know why there's a sprint button in a game that's supposed to be an old arcade-style shooter, or why there are growing and shrinking crosshairs in a game that's supposed to be like an old arcade shooter. The whole point of old arcade shooters is you're supposed to be able to jump around while firing sniper rifles at people's noggins. Alright, so I don't think this game replicates like the big thing that Black did, which was its sound design. It actually won awards for that back in the day, you see. Is well, a lot of games randomize pitch for weapons so that you don't have the same gunshot sound repeated over and over. Black took it a step further by assigning pitch settings to each individual weapon so that you could tell how many guns were firing. Each one would have a unique pitch shift value in a gunfight. It was a thing referred to as a chorus of gunfire. It was actually pretty neat. So let's take him down over there, and then we'll shoot this barrel, and that will explosive some men like. Okay, so now that the OSB is full, we can't pick up any more intel, and I always thought this limited your score, because for some reason I always thought that picking up intel actually had any effect on score at all. It doesn't. So that's yet another thing that they kind of missed out on. Let's kill this man over here so that he can't get us, and we get a headshot backstab. Now, even if you get like one of these multi-skill kills, it still counts as just being one skill kill for purposes of getting score, and it's just a straight-up multiplier of the enemy's value, and pretty much I think all the enemies in this level have the same bonus to them, so all of it is futile. I don't know what the hell all these glowing things are about either, because like the whole of the rest of the game like looks reasonably realistic, and yet you have all this glowing green and blue shit lurking around. It's just a game that doesn't know what the hell it wants to be, really. So let's clerk our way over here and find that man. He's shooting at us. My god, let's throw a grenade at his friend there, which mysteriously won't kill him. The impact grenades actually have a smaller blast radius than the regular grenades, I guess to balance them or something. Now, of course, since this is your classic post-Halo, post-Call of Duty-ish shooter, you can carry two weapons but three types of grenade. Two types of grenade we already have. They are the two grenadal options, which shares a common ammo pool, which we can sink all coffins and all hearses to at our leisure. But there is one other type we'll be seeing in the next level, because that is also part of this video. We're up to times 23 there, and that man there is trying to shoot us. That's mean of him. You're going to see something really stupid in a minute. Okay, so we're trying to take this man down, and we may eventually succeed one of these days with our MP7 contraption. I also have these gunshots, which are quite obvious. Oh, there we go. Now, like in Black, this game retracts weapons into the screen to simulate them having physical length. I believe, unlike in Black, you can reload while they're pulled into the screen, and it tends to completely screw up the reloading animations, and that you will see quite a lot of as we glurge our way into this situation. You man, you're messing up my languages. I'll blow you to bits for that. Okay, so up here, this man has a barrel. That did not go well for him, and we'll reload that, and then you're going to start seeing how screwy the damage indicator is in this game. I'm not sure why it's so messed up. I believe it's possibly because the bullets keep passing straight through your character model and hitting the back of it, but you're going to see that. Look, we've apparently hit from forward and to our left at the same time. And by the same man, he is a Weirdington. You, Mr. Clint Nodwood, I'm going to shoot you in your gimpy mask. I don't know why you're wearing that. It strikes me it would be a bit hot here in Africa. But what do I know? So let's shoot that thing there. Actually, during the test recording I did of this, that got blown up by the militia, but...
Excellent work.
Okay, so now it's not going to tell us this, but it gives us a little pointer there. Now that's to turn on the power to the support thingy that they have left for us, but they don't actually tell us that. I think it's supposed to direct you to the support point so that you can find out it's switched off, but it doesn't do that. Either that or you're supposed to enter from like the straight ahead route and then it'll tell you it. I can't remember because I don't usually use that route. But anyway, so let's go over here and turn on the power source, even though we have not been told that we need to do that or why. So there we go, now there's a second power source, which we know for some mysterious reason, you see. So, let's go around here and we can find out this game is like GoldenEye in another way. It is like GoldenEye in that enemies can't spawn if you're looking directly at them. So if I look over there, then I go over here and throw a grenade there and go back, a man's will have spawned in. There he is. There you go, sir. Where do you think you're going? You're not going there, wherever it is. And now we'll look there again, and the men are not spawning. They are silly like that. But now there are two of them. So, basically, you've got the militia who wear their gimp masks and boiler suits, and you have the army who are feuding during this. That's supposed to be another big gimmick in this. Also, you're going to see another thing here that is very 2000 in a minute after we have blowed that man into a bazillion pieces. Here we go, shoot this guy here. Now, he had started a grenade throw animation before I did that, and while it interrupts the animation, it doesn't interrupt the grenade throw, which is brilliant, so we'll shoot him for that. The grenade effect, the damage effect rather, in this game is also incredibly imprecise, and you never really have any idea how dead you are. Quite frequently you'll just drop dead even though the screen hasn't even started turning red yet, or your screen will be red for ages even though you are continuing to be visited with bulletation by men, you see. Now let's go around here, see if we can find anything actually useful in among all this trash, and we did, that's what. So through here there is another power source. Let's turn that on and then we can find out what the hell we're even doing here. So yeah, we're not actually looking for our hidden gear at all, we're looking for a network support point, which isn't our gear. I suppose this was the only things we brought with us in this universe. So anyway, so we're going to try to shoot these people, but unfortunately our insane AC-130 is going to steal our kills, the bastard. So, damn you, invisible AC-130, damn you to hell. Let's load that up again, and here's another thing that is very, very 2000. They got this guy here, he's going to shoot at us, then he's going to, despite the fact he couldn't hit us with any of those rounds, he throws a grenade perfectly at us, so let's run past that and get him. You do at least have a lot of health in this game. It's one of those games which is designed for you to be taking on multiple enemies at any given time, which means that anytime you're not taking on multiple enemies, you can just stand directly in front of people and sight up headshots, because they really can't do anything to stop you, which is a bit of a weakness of it, you see. But yeah, so this is a bit like the original Black, where if you took like 2 or 3 rocket-propelled grenades to the head, you might have to start worrying about dying. Okay, so we found this network support terminal, which I'm not really sure what it even does, but there's some C4 here, so we're going to pick that up.
Welcome to Tsanga City.
I will tell you about
tourist
that.
spot if you're into frag injuries and landmines.
African Civil Wars are
This is one of the
hilarious.
most dynamic cities in Africa. Now it's deserted, bullet-ridden, and stuck in the middle of a civil war.
I can tell you which city it is in a minute. I'll
Both
tell you
sides
that
are
later.
involved in peace talks.
I've
And
got
then the violence suddenly
M112 demolition
reignited.
charge here for some reason.
No one else is coming to help. It's just the network. It's just us.
Being as she's
We have
apparently
to get
supposed to have
the sides
made up
talking
the
again.
entire
Thousands
organization.
more will suffer.
Yeah.
Let's find out why this war started again. Let's find out who wanted to turn a Cold War hot. The whole of Tsanga and the
How is that
network
gonna
are counting
help?
on you. So, no pressure. Check your combat console for assignment details.
Okay, so the combat console is the thing you pull up with select, and I think that's the only time it's ever even mentioned, but they haven't told you what it is or that it's called that, so let's double headshot these people. I don't think that's to do with penetration. I think it's more the fact that I managed to hit both their hitboxes at the same time because they're gigantic. So let's throw a grenade at this man and see how he reacts to it. Good idea, you ran onto the grenade. What a winner you believe yourself to be. Then throw a grenade at him, and that will also succeed, and then this guy down here, who I usually blow myself up trying to throw an impact grenade up, we will headshot backstab him, and if you believe that, you'll believe anything. So let's then run down here and see what the world has in store for us in this bizarre location which we call a place. So, more tons and tons of intel which is located around here. We cannot contain any more intelligence, though. There is a limit to the amount of intelligence that can be contained in any given part of this operative's mind, you see. So we'll make our... He runs in a really silly way too. Also, you might notice that for no obvious reason the crosshair is in the lower third of the screen instead of being in the middle. Now, I understand that they put the gun down there so it looks like you're holding it at the hip, but I really don't know what the hell the crosshair's doing down there. That doesn't make any sense at all. You, sir, what is my crosshair doing down here? It's killing you, that's what it's doing, and you're not happy with that. Alright, so in a minute we're actually going to lose our skill chain. Not that it's really going to matter, because I've already got well and truly enough to get the maximum rank for this level. You'll see that as we get there. Now that guy's going to perfect a grenade at us, and we'll have to retreat from him for that. Duck behind here and then shoot him like... So you spend almost all of your time like using this sort of half-assed iron sight view where he brings it almost all the way to the middle of the screen but then just gives up because I believe he is not professional enough. There we go, so we lost our multiplier. There's no real fanfare for doing that. So now we have nothing stopping us from just gunning them down. I'm immediately going to start my kill chain again anyway because I am a silly, you see. So you, sir, stop firing guns at me. That's not allowed. I don't live in a world where that's even possible. I'm going to fire individual rounds at you like a man would and somehow get a skill kill for it anyway. Not even going to go into how that's possible. Most of the skill kills are insanely situational. You've only got a couple that are really reliable, as I pointed out before. There's also a lot of them that are just likely to fail on you, like Shred, which is where you try and fire at someone through cover and hope it still counts as cover when you do that. Yeah, that basically never works. So load that back up again, and here is a dude. There's also, as well as the shotgun, there is another weapon which can get a skill kill with every single shot you fire from it. We're not going to see that for ages. It is the sillying gun, and it is offset by the fact that it's terrible. Really? This is your big obstacle? A fucking padlock? I could just hang a grenade on it, and that would blow that off. I need to get C4 for that? That's terrible. Okay, it's got a 3-second fuse on it for reasons. So we have managed to blow that off, even though we could almost certainly have got rid of it in virtually any other way but that one. I mean, Christ, with the bullet physics in this game, you could just shoot it off. I mean, that's how these things usually work in games. Okay, so that is actually my best score for that level, which is an A rank. There is no S rank, you see. And for some reason it spends an incredibly long time on the B rank and then just suddenly flips up to A, as if it's somehow difficult to get. So this is a scoring game with an online multiplayer mode, and because there are some levels where enemies either infinitely respawn or enemies can infinitely resurrect you and bad guys and still give you a skill kill for every single one, you can get arbitrarily high scores in this game, which is absolutely great and would be a big problem if anyone had ever actually bothered playing it for score. Luckily, absolutely no one did. So anyway, we've actually got our first OSB upgrade now. On delivery of a singular dose, so I guess it's an unusual dose. The operative will be invulnerable to gunfire until intel runs out, which is what adrenaline does, you see. That is basically the only worthwhile upgrade in the entire game, so we'll be using that in the next level. TPW pulse is completely useless. You don't want to use explosive bullets because it just makes you kill enemies faster. Okay, so this is where we are. That is actually Lagos, which is the largest city in Nigeria, and until 1991 was its capital. It is a modern city, and it looks absolutely nothing like this place. Okay, so the militia have been fucking around with the army. Their ridiculous looking commander is there, and we have to kill him because he is a giant ogre with a crew-served weapon. I'm sort of wondering if they just like threw in the racism in this game to try and get it some controversy sales, because I can't really think of anything else. It's very try-hard kind of thing.
Several pro-peace individuals on both sides. We need to find out why.
How exactly are pro-peace individuals going to help when they're just firing guns at one another?
Intel suggests it would be worth paying their commander a visit.
Okay, it won't. So anyway, we can now upgrade our weaponries. Okay, so here we go. Long-range high-power shotgun. The closer the shot, the more damage inflicted. Reloads take time and the fire rate is low, so only suitable for close-range encounters. Yes, it really required all of the explaining that you gave it then. Okay, MP7, SMG with a heavy effect on cover, highest range capacity. It's class less effective against flesh. When it's not good for shooting people, probably not a keeper. So anyways, we've got the G36 here. Capable assault rifle, most effective damage against flesh in its class, marginally slower fire rate than the others, but with higher capacity. I don't know how the hell this was originally supposed to be classified, but the G36 actually has one of the lowest capacities of any of the assault rifles in this game. Like pretty much all of the assault rifles are huge magazines compared to it, so I don't know if they're maybe meant to be more weapons, which the game certainly suggests because there are enemy weapon models that you can't use. There's also some suggestions of deleted alt fires. Anyway, so this is actually the demo level. There's three main differences. Firstly, there were 2 bad guys there before. I think there were also a few extra bad guys. Let's kill these guys because they're really, really fucking annoying. These guys steal into. You might be wondering why you haven't seen a melee attack yet. It's because the melee attack in this game A doesn't count as a skill kill and B takes over a second to even come out. It is absolutely fucking useless. It is the worst melee attack you will ever see in a video game. Okay, so scavengers steal intel. They also drop mines if you allow them to live for more than 4 seconds, so that's unlikely to ever really become much of a problem. There is a little thing as well to do with mines and grenades and other enemy explosives, but you'll see that later after I've finished gunning folks down. Okay, so we've got the G36K here. They have G36Cs. That's like the first of the weapons in this game that you can't use. So let's run away here before we get deaded, and of course the fire select there is a semi-auto, but then you probably knew that already. Yeah, largely they get that right. You got the superfluous pulls of the charging handle, which the game does actually skip in certain circumstances, much like black shortened reloads if you were under fire. It's just this game's idea of under fire is so vague and useless that I shot that man in the shoulder and he died. What an asshole. That's another difference in the demo. He did like a double pull on the charging handle in the demo, whereas he only pulls it once here, so that is a bit better of him. He has learned of gunology. So there you go. You shoot a man and he drops a grenade, it becomes your grenade for purposes of scoring. Otherwise, enemy explosives count as enemy explosives, and they do not give you skill kills. Presumably they give them skill kills instead, and that can only be described as bad. They got a guy here lurking behind his Jungle McBarricade while I'm being threatened by their plastic chair. You, sir, take that in your gimpy mask, which offers you no layers of armoured protection. So we're going to try and look at that, but we will fail because it's down there and has sunk into the abyss. So there we go. We've got ourselves some cartoon ammunition. There you go. It's a G36C, so it is. And that's not what we have. I don't really get why, even in the first level where the enemies have better weapons than you can't pick them up, and it always annoys me in video games where like the enemies have better weapons than you and they give you no reason why you can't get them for yourself and use them. It would only take one line of dialogue to establish that, but I guess they weren't into that kind of thing. Okay, so as you can see here, this is like part of the second generation of last-gen shooters. When everyone complained about how like the older games all looked grey and such, and brown, what they did was just they turned all the colours up and oversaturated them, and it still looks horrible. It just looks horrible in a slightly different way, you see. So that's your fault, and now you're dead of it. So we've got lots of oil here. That's this is pretty much the only thing the game gets even slightly right, is that Nigeria is the largest oil producing nation in Africa. The problem is that I don't think that Lagos has like any huge petrochemical facilities. I may be wrong with that, but I couldn't find any in my research. So sir, that's your fault. You can get surprise kills in this game. There really aren't any stealth mechanics, but there is one suppressed weapon. And the weird thing is that suppressed weapon is actually useful because it's ridiculously accurate, even though it's a pistol. So we're going to try and snipe this man over here. There is no sniper rifle in this game, even though there is a lot of long-range precision combat. It's very, very stupid how all of this is set up. There's like a marksman rifle, even though it's actually a compact assault rifle. I don't know how that is meant to work, and neither does this guy. Sir. I'm going to try and snipe at you in my crouch, and that will give me additional accuracies, you see, but it won't be enough to stop me from hitting you in the shoulder. There we go. I was actually aiming at his head here, quite clearly, but he died and took away my multiplier, and that was mean of him. You monstrous fellow. Why did you allow your friend to do that to me? I was going to get score and the like.
If he puts up a fight, the network's authorized you to put him down.
The objective is actually to our left. Wow, you need your own agents alive more than the enemy? That's amazing. I could never have guessed that without your useful contributions. Also, you might notice that every time she talks, she blanks out the fucking mini-map, which gets really absolutely fantastic on some of the later missions where she talks a lot. So anyway, let's give that a tweak, and then there are some mans down here, so we will have to dispose of them individually with gunpowder. I got him and winged him, so let's throw that at him and give him wings. He flew, he did. Sir. You're not a friend of mine, and I'm going to get up to ×7 with that headshot. Meanwhile, that grenade will hit me on a pipe somehow. I'm not really sure of the physicalities of that. So that there is some mine ammo. We haven't used mines yet, but we will shortly. They're kind of useful in many circumstances, but then enough of that. You throw 3 of them at a time, you see, and you can carry up to 6 ammos. And amazingly, it doesn't count as using 3 at a time. So let's shoot that guy in the head there. That will confuse his friend Beatrice here, who will come up there, believing, I suppose, that his friend had committed suicide. Then we will take him out before he really becomes aware of our ways. Less of you. And then you will see here, there is this guy here who Yeah, even the music isn't really convinced by that. I guess he figured that if we couldn't see him, he couldn't see us, and that's just not worked well for him in the long run. So you knew a lot of shredding in this level, which is to be expected since it's a demo level, but it's still pretty terrible. There are a lot of there is no real rhyme or reason to which surfaces you can shred, and it doesn't generally help you all that much as a result. You can't really carve paths through buildings or anything, and this man is equally confused as his prior fellow was. So we'll load that up and continue sniping all these guys with single shots from our fully automatic rifle, because it makes sense for us to do that. I guess it being in semi is at least relevant to the game. You, sir, you're supposed to be guarding the man's facility over there, so we'll load that up again. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean by try-hard racism, because it really is like it's just trying to do what happened with Resident Evil 5 all over again. There's a guy up there first, though, and we'll get him because he's confuzzled by our ways. You, sir, stop doing whatever you were doing and start being dead. Right, that goes in there, and then we'll walk forwards and see what I was talking about. Because as we see here, we'll just walk up to here and we'll zoom on this important wall, because... oh no, a scary black man. This guy is the militia commander. I don't know why they have an ogre in command of their militia. I don't think they do either. Luckily, there is only one type of enemy in the entire game that can see mines, even if you just plant them on the ground directly in front of them. So he's just going to hulk his way over here, walk straight into the mines and kill himself, which is genius of him. There he goes.
Carrying much of interest. Search
How the hell do you
area.
know?
GPS locator acquired.
Shouldn't you at least like wait until I come over and look at him first? Okay, so he's down there where he now lives, and we must investigate a signal because it is suspicious that there is one. Right, okay, so let's throw a grenade in there, and then we can go and have a look at some other stuff. Yeah, for some reason we don't investigate the room he burst out of, and instead we go over here. Where there are some burning oil rigs, and I really don't think that oil rigs are going to be that close to the coast, but never mind, it probably doesn't matter. Let's go and crawl up here. There's a piratey bar there, so I guess somebody's confused Nigeria with Somalia.
You're gonna have to shred through the walls to reach it.
It's a technical military term. Yes, because you haven't introduced this already. Yeah, they left all the tutorial messages in as well that were only in there for the demo. So let's blast all of that, and there is signal. Except it's not actually in there because it's in here. Yeah, okay, so you can shred... okay, shredding. Okay, you can shred this, right? Okay, we can't shred this. Because that makes sense after all. It's a great gun for shooting at walls. Okay, so here we go. We got whatever this is. What is it?
The militia's supposed to be low-tech, pretty much no electronics. But this commander has encrypted GPS?
Yeah, he's also got one of those amazing freestanding monitors.
Let's check them. See what's so important it needs this sort of technology.
Wouldn't it make more sense that he'd just stolen it from the army?
The army's attacking to retake the city.
This is a city, is it? I thought it was a shanty town at the start of this level, but never mind. Okay, so the army is attacking. The army is attacking these guys over here, who you can sometimes get here in time to kill, but I didn't this time. So he's now corpse, and that was the last of them. Now, we're actually outside their sight range at the moment, which means we could have a quick crack at picking them off here. Okay, so I'll throw a grenade over there, and that will hit. Somehow they will decide to shoot at the grenade, which I don't think will service them all that well in the long run. The only other difference to this level from the demo is that right over there at the end of the demo, so we will make our way to that now. That will become our mission in life, you see. So there's a guy there, and we will plug him in his skull, and he'll drop his grenade, and... I had this happen straight away when I was doing my practice recording, but in these two levels I do not get somebody to drop a grenade and get me a kill for it, so that is unfortunate. Okay, let's put some more roundings in there, and then we can go past all of this information and find ourselves a man to place more bullets into. Okay, so we kill him off here, and then we have these two sniperty towers here. They have bombs in them. That is silly, but never mind. And that's the only other difference between this and the demo, is that in the demo they were over here and had snipers in them, so that's great. There's a school bus here in celebration of the fact that there are no civilians. I guess they killed all of them in a nitrous fashion. Okay, so here you go. This is how generous the scoring system is for this game. Even though I got less than half of my top score for this level, I'm still going to get an A. You really don't have to be good at this game at all to max out your scores. It's pretty absurd. I guess they just use the same grading system that video game reviewers use, but I don't know. So anyway, that was Body Count. You probably won't see a lot more of that, because that was just a test recording, but I have been Evil Tim, and goodbye, I say.